Live from Studio 550, it's McGraw in the Morning on the Big 550 KTRS.
8:53, check in with our good friend Charles D'Angelo, the weight loss coach. Charles, good morning.
Good morning.
I hold in my hand your book that is going to be published when?
It comes out this winter. It'll be in stores in December. People can pre-order now on Amazon right now.
Amazon.com. The book is called Think and Grow Thin. We'll talk more about it as we get further along. But you have a blurb on the cover by one President Bill Clinton.
That's correct.
That's nice.
Yeah, very, very fortunate. President Clinton is a man I really, really admire, who's doing a lot with his Clinton Foundation to combat childhood obesity. I had the unique honor and privilege of sharing my story, and over the last decade now I've been doing this. I've been blessed to help several of his friends that he's noticed the changes in them, and he was kind enough to provide that quote for the cover.
And what's nice is that you have never worn his running shorts, which caused all sorts of controversy.
Well, he's really slimmed down recently.
He really has. After his whole heart episode, he's really very, very thin.
Yeah, he did some type of vegetarian or vegan diet, I understand. He did a really, really good job, and it seems that he's keeping himself in check.
Charles, you've been on the show numerous times. Your story is you were so heavy as a child that you actually, at one point, were blind. Talk about that for a moment.
When I was 17 years old, I weighed 360 pounds, and a typical night food for me was an entire pizza I would devour by myself, a box of breadsticks, a 2-liter of regular soda. After one night of doing that, I woke up at about 2:30 in the morning. I don't know if you would call it blind. I woke up and I could not make out anything. It was totally blurred. My entire vision. I rubbed my eyes thinking that maybe I just had sleep in my eyes, but it wouldn't go away. I was scared to death, and sitting there, even in air-conditioned environments, I was profusely sweating. I would wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, and my heart would be racing, and that scared the heck out of me. The next day, a similar episode happened where I was in a classroom that was about 60 degrees, and I just started sweating. My heart was racing again. My palms were sweaty and clammy, and I knew I had to take some action. My health was beginning to become compromised by my habits.
All these years later, you're now a weight loss coach. You've helped yourself, and you've turned your program, I guess, the one that you've designed, on to all sorts of people here in town. And it is amazing to me. I guess we're coming up on 2 years.
That's right. 2 years that you've kept 2 years that we'll have been working together.
Right.
1 year that, more than a year and about a half or a little bit more that you've kept the weight off.
It's as simple as just sort of wanting to do it. A lot of people want to do it, but they don't know where to start. They don't know how to start. One of the things people ask me all the time who have come to you or want to go to you and ask me, what do you think? And it's really, listen, I always make a joke, do whatever you say to do. But there's also something to be said that every 2 weeks you bring them back and force them to step on a scale.
The accountability is important. In my book, so many people have said to me, Charles, you're putting your entire plan out there. I mean, aren't you shooting yourself in the foot? The reality is this, is that, of course, my book gives my exact step-by-step guide from a diet perspective of what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, what's worked for now over 2,000 people that I've personally coached. But moreover, the real important thing that my book focuses on and what I teach my clients that come in is how to master their own psychology, how to get to a point where food no longer means what it used to emotionally, where they can go to events where, despite their circumstances, despite the stress of life, they're able to keep themselves adherent to the program that they put themselves on, whether it's my particular diet program or another, that they're able to keep themselves consistent. And a guy like you that's so busy, you have to do a lot of socializing. A lot of the folks I work with that travel nationally or internationally, they're so darn busy, sometimes their health takes a back seat to what they have to do professionally, and I help to get that back in alignment where it should be.
There are parents listening to this right now who are saying, my kid he's overweight, he's starting on the path.
Sure.
What do you tell those parents?
Just last week, Kim Hudson from Channel 2 came and talked to me about the same thing. In fact, it airs today at 4 on Channel 11 about childhood obesity, how it's running rampant in our nation. I really believe that the best thing a parent can do for their child is to live by example, is to make sure that their habits are healthy, that they're making time for their own exercise, they're making time to be active with their kids. Our lifestyles have become so busy with the technology we have that we sometimes forget what really matters in our life, and that is our own health and our families. And when parents come home, they often hurry off to McDonald's because it's convenient,
right.
It's cheap. The kids find it enjoyable because the play place is there or whatever restaurant you want to insert there. And I think the important thing is to teach the kids the habits they need to learn early on.
But even when you go to McDonald's,
they do offer healthy options. I know where you're going with this, right?
You can get the cheeseburger or you can get the apple.
That's right.
I mean, so that really, no matter how fast-paced your life is,
you can make it happen if you decide to. And that's, again, the whole premise of the book is making the decision to control your thinking so that you're not going for what's going to taste good in that short second, but that you're going to feel guilty over. Unfortunately, kids sometimes don't see the ramifications of their actions into the future, but the parents definitely can. Let's also look at this perspective. There's a lot of debate and controversy about the educational system, the school system, and what foods are offered there. A lot of school systems having very low-quality foods, saying that the reason they have those is it would cost more to have higher-quality foods. Well, there's also literature that negates that and says that, quite to the contrary, that it's not more expensive. I think it all boils down to kids learning early on what's right and what's wrong, and that's often modeled after their own parents' behaviors.
That's Charles D'Angelo, friend of the show, been on the show now for coming up 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, the book is called Think and Grow Thin. You can order it now on Amazon.com?
Yeah, you just go to Amazon.com, type in Think and Grow Thin. It pops up, and it's on discount, 35% off for pre-orders. It's $14.95.
And CharlesD'Angelo.com for more information. KTRS St. Louis, it's 9.